We need a strategy based on the real world, not on the hope for the world it is. What would that strategy look like?
Nick, this is probably the hardest question that we would consider, because we must rely on deterrence, and if deterrence fails, we must be able to win. Now, how we do that, given the fact that we have given China such a start, I honestly don't know the answer to that question. We are in apart from our fact of being able to go back 10 years and start again, we are in big trouble. And if China decides to move, then in fact it can move. So I don't have an answer to that question. But what I do know is that the Defence Strategic Review that the government is about to start working on is going to take far too long. It only considers defence. It doesn't consider the resilience of the whole nation. And therefore, I think it's going to be totally and absolutely irrelevant. So I can't answer that, Nick. Maybe there's another book in that somewhere. I may have to have another look at that issue.
Well, let's finish, Jim, if Labor's review is going to be so hopeless, let's do a quick review of our own. And here's my quick review of our strategic position. The ANZUS agreement, which we've relied on, and the assumption that the US will be able to come to our aid faced with hostility in our region, is something that has changed. We need to avoid complacency over that. The US doesn't necessarily even have the capability to help us, let alone the will. So we need to move much more towards a strategy, and you write about this in your book, a strategy closer to that of Israel. What would that strategy look like?
That strategy would look like the expenditure of probably 6 to 8% of GDP, to start spending very, very fast, not entice ourselves about trying to build ships. If we want missiles, let's not build ships to get 48 missiles rather than 35 missiles. Let's buy missiles by the dozen and stick them where they're supposed to be. Let's get out there and defend ourselves and give ourselves at the same time, give ourselves the ability to reach out and to hurt an enemy. That's in the first instance. That's the first thing we should do. We should not stop the things that the coalition government started to do. We need also to start building a reserve military, because reserve Army, Navy and Air Force, at some stage we are going to need that. And of course, we've got to build resilience within the country. But Nick, the first thing we should do, and I'll have to make this the last point, the first thing we must do is to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the overall national strategy as to how we might do this. Everyone will have their one thing that they can do, and that's a waste of time. We need to start with the overall strategy and then start building on that strategy as we can afford the money to build on that strategy.
Jim, let's just put your book on the screen again. Danger on Our Doorstep. It's published by HarperCollins, available in all good bookstores or online. Very important book, in my view. Thank you for writing it, and thank you for your presence in the Senate. Good to see you in good health again, Jim, and we'll talk to you again soon on this vital question to our nation's future.
Nick, thank you very much, and it's quite right. We should read this book widely and get rid of the complacency that we all have. Nick, thank you very much, and I thank the Menzies Research Centre.
Thank you, Jim.